What's up, y'all? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tammy. I'm the owner of Tammy A1 Consulting, and we're going to talk about the information that is on the student aid website that a lot of borrowers may be overlooking, especially with everything that is going on with federal student loans. People are going into repayment who may not be able to afford the new payments under a new repayment plan, whatever the case may be. But it's important that you understand how to utilize the student aid website. Not only that, we're going to look at the forbearances that are available because depending on your situation, there may be a forbearance or deferment that you may be able to look into if paying on your loans when repayment resumes, if it's just not something that you can do. We have to know every single option that is available to us. So first and foremost, what you want to do is go to the student aid website, and you access the student aid website just by going to studentaid.gov. And all the information, this is just like your information hub for everything federal student loans, okay? So one thing that I like to do if I'm not utilizing the tabs that are up here, what I like to do is just scroll down to the bottom of the page, okay? Because when you get to the bottom of the page, there's information that's here, and all of this is clickable. Every single thing here is clickable. So we've got the Help Center to contact us, site feedback, about us, announcements, data center resources, and forms library. And our forms library is where you are able to find any form that you need that's connected to federal student loans. And this is where it's important because, like I said, if you are someone that is going into repayment and the repayment plan that, you, depending on how these repayment plans go, but whatever the case may be, if it's a repayment plan that you cannot afford at the time, when you come out of repayment or when you come out of this forbearance, especially if you're in a save plan, that a forbearance or a deferment may be something that you can look into, okay? So that way you're not putting yourself or you're not going into a delinquent or a defaulted status. If this is just an avenue you have to go. So when you get here, we've got all the information here. Get out of default, loan forgiveness and discharge. That's all the forgiveness programs that are available. Look at all these different forgiveness programs that are available for federal student loans. Loan repayment, all of the different income general repayment plans, loan deferment and forbearance. And this is where we have all of the different type of forbearances that are available to federal student loan borrowers. And what's great about it is that you can read every single one of these prior to enrolling into anything. So that way, if you're not quite sure what your situation, where your situation falls and what deferment your situation will qualify for, you can just take a look at all of the different types of forbearances here. Now, this is the general forbearance. And when you click on the application, and it's going to give you the file, this is where you're able to look at the PDF version of the application. Now, this application, this is one that you can mail in, fax in, whatever the case may be. But for the sake of understanding what the forbearances are about, this is where you're going to look at the details of it to see what this situation will call for, what your situation will call for, and what type of forbearance you may need to enter into. So we know that a general forbearance and the reason behind it is where it comes to financial difficulties, change in employment, medical expenses, or anything other. And it tells you if you are approved for forbearance, I would like to. And you're able to tell the Department of Education or the loan service because they're the loan servicer because they'll be the ones making the decision on if they are going to grant this, what it is that you want to do if your forbearance is approved. Do you want to temporarily stop making payments, temporarily make smaller payments, then you put the amount per month? I would like my forbearance to begin with the monthly payment that is due in the month and the year. Then you're able to put all of that information, but here, all in this, and this is what you get to decide how you want your forbearance to go. Let's go back. So we're going to go to, so that was the um, general forbearance. So now we're going to go down to the economic hardship deferment. Okay, once you open up the file for economic hardship, same thing, your contact information, but you want to see exactly what this is about. Have you received this type of deferment on loan made under another federal student loan program for the same period of time that you want this deferment? For example, check yes if you want this deferment on your direct loans and you're on deferment on your FFEL program loans. Then it's going to tell you what you need to do depending on how you respond to the answer. Have you received or are you receiving payments under a federal, state, public assistance program for the same period of time that you want this deferment? So we know qualifying programs, they tell you if you're receiving TANF, SSI, SNAP benefits, general public assistance, or other means tested. Yes, attach documentation to the of the payments. If no, continue. So they give you all of all of these questions that you have to answer. So if you're not for sure which one you may qualify for, in school deferment, we know that you have to be enrolled at least half time for an eligible school. You can use this form. Student loan debt burden forbearance for borrowers whose total student debt is 20% or more of their total monthly gross income. Use this form to request a student loan debt burden forbearance. Keep in mind that additional conditions can apply. Unemployment deferment for borrowers who are unemployed or can't find full-time employment. And then two, when it comes to the unemployment deferment, when you read here, there's a question in here that it asks you about, are you diligently seeking but unable to find full-time employment? Have you rejected offers of full-time employment? Now, mind you, they want documentations for this. And the last time that I can remember when I was on unemployment is that they would send us jobs. We had to apply for these jobs every week, deny the job, but you can only deny a certain amount. So if they're wanting documentation, of course, to see if you have been rejecting jobs or if if there's any jobs that were sent to you, it's very easy for them to verify that. So you just want to make sure that you're being truthful in the application, especially if it's connected to unemployment, okay? Or anything for that matter. Parent Plus borrow deferment for Parent Plus loan borrowers whose student is enrolled at least half time. Use this form to request a deferment. So if you're a Parent Plus borrower, you can request a deferment. A teacher forbearance. All right. Not only that, cancer treatment for borrowers who are cancer patients. You can use this form to request a deferment on your eligible loans and forbearance, or on your ineligible loans for the duration of your cancer treatment and 6 months afterwards. Got a lot of people that is dealing with cancer and going through cancer treatments who may be stuck in a forbearance that just may not be one that's for them, and they could be in a cancer treatment deferment. Graduate fellowship deferment for borrowers who are in an eligible graduate fellowship program. Rehabilitation training deferment. So just think about this particular deferment. So if you are in rehabilitation and they tell you, is your program license approved, certified, or recognized as providing rehabilitation training to disabled individuals by the Department of Veteran Affairs or a state agency responsible for vocational rehabilitation, drug abuse treatment, mental health treatment, or alcohol abuse services? So all of this information is here. Like, so if you are in drug treatment, mental health treatment, like all of these different things that are available to you, that you may be able to utilize this type of deferment. Okay. Let's see what the next one is. All right. Medical or dental internship, residency, National Guard, and DoD student loan repayment, military services and post-active duty student deferment, Corporation for National and Community Service AmeriCorps forbearance. So we see that there's all type of different forbearances that a borrower may qualify for that you may not even be aware of. So you reach out to the loan servicer, and without them having or you not knowing what type of deferment or forbearance is available to you, you go in and you are allowing them to, in a sense, tell you which one. But you can go through here and read. So when you reach out to your service or when you apply, you tell them I'm applying for an unemployment deferment, whatever the case, whichever one of these that you are going to apply for. But this is just one way to get to information that's connected to federal student loans. There's so much information here, okay, that most borrowers may not even be aware of that is available to them, okay? So just make sure that you're looking at all the information here. Teach grants, okay? Look at all this stuff. StudentAid.gov account, attestation and validation of identity, certification of identity, and consent. So this is more or less for records requests and things of that nature. But all of these forms are here. So go to the StudentAid website. And again, like I said, when you get to the StudentAid website, the information down here at the bottom, all the information that you need to be able to navigate this website. Here's a resources page. Look at this. Information on college preparation and federal student aid programs. Free application, that's the FAFSA information. So you're able to read those. Loan information, it tells you all about the different student loans that you have, student loan repayment, how to manage your loans. Look, they even have videos and images, public service loan forgiveness graphics, all of this information. Look at all of this. All of this information is here. Different webinars for you to read about, okay? And then also, not only that, they have alternative formats. All of our publication and fact sheets are screen reader friendly on request. Our publications and fact sheets are available in alternate formats, such as Braille. So all of this stuff is here to help you with anything that you need with your student aid account. Not only that, and like I said, I just click around here, and this is where you're able to find. Look at this. School data provides information about schools and other entities participating in Title IV. Student aid data provides information about Title IV. Like, look at all this information, business information resources. All of that information is here, okay? Not only that, the announcements. We want to know what's going on with student loans. We know everything right now is just a lot. But all of this information is here where you can view all the announcements, okay? All right, and then About Us. Okay, you can click on About Us. And that will tell you, basically what they do, what FSA is about, what the Department of Education is. And look, ED is the largest provider of student financial aid in the nation, okay? At FSA, our more than 1,400 employees help make post-secondary education possible for 9.9 million students each year. Now, just mind you, this was 1,400 at the time this was published. They've already cut half of that for over 9.9 million. Okay, but I'm gonna stay focused. But this is just like I said, this is just where you can go back and get all the information that you need in order to help you with navigating the student aid website. But they get you all here, even if you need to contact them as well. Also, one thing I didn't see is if you have a complaint, but if you have a complaint against that you need to file, there is the ombudsman. So you just type in ombudsman, okay? And this is where if you have any complaints that you need to file, if you need to file a complaint, if you need to file a complaint like against your servicer with the Department of Education, whatever the case may be, you go through the ombudsman group, and this is where you'll be able to submit all the information, okay? And it tells you what the ombudsman group can assist you with, all of that information here, okay? All right. Okay, that's what I want to show you guys really quickly, how to utilize the student aid website, just some other ways to get to forms and just other avenues, especially if you need those, if you're going into repayment and maybe you're not able to, you're not able to make the payment, and going into the deferment or forbearance may be something that you can utilize to help you until you're able to, get things better established for yourself. But all right, I hope that that helps. Also, one more thing to read about deferments so that way you can understand what they are if you're not sure what a deferment or forbearance means. And you can just once again type in the word deferment. Okay, click on student loan deferment. All right, and this is where you'll be able to read all the information about how deferments, and also the same thing with forbearance. I give you the type of forbearances. I'm sorry, the type of deferments it tells you there. But once again, gives you all of those deferments that are connected and what it's all connected to. But yeah, all of that is here. And then here you can go to student loan forbearance. It tells you the type of forbearance that are available. Okay. But of course, if all else, if you are dealing with a hardship, an income driven repayment plan, you definitely want to consider that first. Like I said, you would only go to these forgiveness and deferment options if you absolutely have to. If that income driven repayment plan, the payment is just too much, something you can't afford, and you do have a hardship where you just cannot make a payment, then those are your avenues, to give you some time to get back on your feet. All right. I hope that that helps, and yeah, good luck with everything.